Because your mother treats you like a king doesn't mean you're a king. Doesn't mean your wife's gonna, your partner's gonna treat you like a king.
Right.
Because now you're just a person to them, right? They might love you, but don't abuse it. Don't expect everyone to treat it as to bow down to you. Don't just do things your way. That's what people are buying, really. Like, they're buying your way. So
Right.
I do eventually have to tell people that's where the secret is. Is this notion that women have, a rational and an emotional side, whereas most men will tend to just act with emotion. Men need to find their place in life. So now eventually, I think the men who grow up and realize that your work is your family tend to live a happier life. That's the first place I'll start to answer that question, right? The whole point of us doing what we do is for our family.
Hello everyone, hello viewers, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, namaste from whichever part of the world you're seeing this episode of Men's Talk Town. And this is Sonali. Today is a very, very, very special episode for Men's Talk Town because an international eminent personality has joined me. And please join your hands to welcome Mr. Eny Osung. Hello, Eny.
How are you doing? Great to be here.
Absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining the show. So I'm quickly going to introduce Eny, though it cannot be very quick because his biodata is long, but I'm still going to read it. So Eny is a father of 3 children. He is a psychologist by virtue of his BSc and an organizational and occupational psychology at master's level. Eny has recently published the anthology, The Organized and Co-authored Lessons We Learned from COVID. That is interesting. Eny is the founder and managing director of Global.Media, the trading name of small business eMarketing Limited that aims to make ambitious businesses and professionals famous so they serve more people. Great. Eny is passionate about using innovative marketing methods to deliver long-term results for enabling clients to have visibility to their target audience, build authority, build a community of the people they exist to serve, and get their ideal clients to know, like, and trust them. Whilst Global.Media offer the full range of digital marketing methods, Eny is renowned as the godfather of LinkedIn audio events in recognition of his LinkedIn event management, book writing, publishing, and marketing services, and their guaranteed bestseller service for authors who publish great books on Amazon. Wow, this is so wow. And let me tell the viewers that I have met Eny on many audio LinkedIn events, and it's absolute pleasure to know him, to talk to him, interact with him, because he puts you before him. That's what I realized, and that's the beauty of his managing things, because he makes you feel very special, whether you are special or not, but he makes you feel that, and it's a beautiful thing, Eny. Thanks for that. So tell us something more about.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing introduction. I love what you said about me and the audio rooms, because that's where I find real joy these days. It's amazing to find a place in marketing. It's almost unique, and audio rooms is where I found a space to be myself and to do what I really love doing, which is elevating other people. I'm lucky to meet stars in the world people who do amazing things. And then the people I work with tend to provide great services, and different services, not to do what everyone else does. And when I'm lucky to meet people like that, people like you, Sonali, I will say to you, let's do an audio room. I want the world to know your greatness. I want them to know why you're different, why you're unique. And as a part of my process then is to help my friends build their community. So people are interested in what they do, and then I want to build the numbers of those people over time. And that's why I talk about in my bio. I talk about long-term results. I think the marketing gone away from the days where maybe we're still there. So some people love to do the quick viral thing, right? Want to do a dance on TikTok. So that might get you famous. It might get you seen by many people, but it's not going to build long-term fame in that sense, right? I want people to truly know who my friends are, get to know them over time, and get to know, like, and trust them, like you said earlier, right? And so ultimately, that's what's going to help my friends to serve more people, because those people in the community we build will eventually put their hand up and say, "Please, can you help me?" I'd love to be that conduit in between to make that happen.
That's beautiful. Honestly, what you're doing has an entire different topic. I'm definitely going to take this up sometime and talk to you in more detail, because what you do, for whom you do, and that platform, it has different world altogether to it. So that's something really nice, and thank you for sharing that. So now I'm going to come back to the main topic of Men's Talk Town,
Yeah.
and where we discuss about men's perspective of women, about their perspective regarding women. So I would like to ask you, like, who are the women in your life, and about those who want you to share, and and what is your,
Of course, man.
of course, and what is, how do you support them, how do you encourage them?
So thankfully, I've got many women in my life. Many. So I
Okay.
got a wife. So I'm lucky to have two mothers. Of course,
Okay.
maybe more than two mothers. Yeah, I've probably got three mothers. Really, to be fair, I've got my birth mother, a foster mother, and my stepmother. So I
Okay.
do have all those mothers.
Okay.
I've got two sisters who I love dearly. Of course, I've got nieces. Both my sisters have daughters. So I've got a daughter myself and two granddaughters. So my life is full of women.
Wow.
I feel blessed in that sense. How do I support them? I try to be just me, really, a genuine person, who I guess is more mature than I probably was not so long ago. And that's a way of saying, I like to have a fair approach to everything. I like to be fair. I like to again acknowledge good things that people do, whether you're a man or a woman, and I
Right.
will stand up for the women in my life, especially when it comes to, I've got a young son, a 15-year-old son. I got an older son as well, and I will try to show them that it matters how you treat people, how you treat women especially.
Absolutely.
So I won't really often put up with just being rude or being slightly, even if it's just slightly condescending, slightly, or maybe authoritarian. I'll tell you where it comes from, Sonali, right?
Okay. Okay.
I think a lot of our problems in the world with men, men don't talk, men don't show emotions. Men can be
Right.
aggressive to women, men can be abusive to women. So I truly believe a lot of those problems from the women in our lives, to be more specific, it comes from our mothers, where we learn lessons that we shouldn't be learning. And I'm always keen to correct my sons in that sense. Because your mother treats you like a king doesn't mean you're a king. Doesn't mean your wife's your partner's got to treat you like a king.
Right.
Because you're just a person to them, right? They might love you, but don't abuse it. Don't expect everyone to treat it as to bow down to you the way your mother does. And I will keep reinforcing that to my sons until I die.
Right. I think I really appreciate and like that idea, when you are trying to inculcate these values in your son, which is very, very meaningful and very beautiful, because that's how they learn. They learn from surroundings, they learn from elders, they learn from family, they learn first from home, and later they step outside and, see others. And that is where the demarcation comes, where they can make line that what is right, what is wrong, and how things should be.
Exactly.
Very, very nice. So what is at on your end? I mean, unless you told me you have a granddaughter, I didn't even guess your age. So I'm not even guessing now.
Do I feel
But
old? No, look,
no, you don't look.
I'm 49, so I still
Oh,
feel young, and I'm sure I thought I would
yeah, for
feel
you
very
are
old by
very.
now, right? I thought your 40s was the end of the world. I thought your 50s was definitely on the way to death. But now I'm realizing I'm just starting really. I still feel young. I
Absolutely.
still do. My son has me exercising every day. He has me doing
Yes.
things that it just causes me pain, but hell, I have to try, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So you're on right track. And so what I would like to ask you, like, how do you encourage these all the women in your personal life, or rather even professional life? You might be having, colleagues or people at your office as women colleagues, or earlier you might have worked with someone. So how do you encourage them?
Yeah, like I say, no, again, maybe the group of women I didn't mention was my clients. So I'm lucky to have
Right.
many female clients.
Yes.
So I delight, I enjoy, I feel blessed to be able to give them, a window to the world. Of course, in the marketing space, it's very noisy. Again, I think what I do, the audio room, the audio events, and the publishing, it gives people, I guess, their own unique voice. So I'm lucky in that sense that I can give my female clients, a true identity in the world, a unique place, which means that they can then be seen for who they are, be seen for the greatness, and then that helps them to impact more people. People tend to buy from people that they know, like, and trust, right? People that will see, and the ones who that's why I talk about being famous. I make you famous because the people will then want to do business with you. And for all of us in business, we're here to serve more people ultimately, right? So I want more people. I want to give my female clients the true recognition that they deserve for the greatness that they provide. And I will. Do I go out of my way more for my female clients? No, but I will go all out to make sure I deliver for them as much as anyone else. So again, those that write books, books are, I call them a gateway into our soul.
Yes.
And every book we write is a true legacy, because the books will outlive all of us. So I love working with women to tell their stories. I'm lucky to have a business partner, Dr. Ava Eagle Brown, who's an amazing author, amazing writer. So she does the writing side of the business, and together we'll work on the publishing side to publish the book, and then I'll do more the marketing side of the books. So we're very good at helping women to tell some of the very hard stories. Stories of whether it's of abuse, whether it's of trauma. That's where we tend to spend our time writing books. And many of those stories are women's stories.
Absolutely, and I'm sure most of them must have been, or rather all of them are unique and very nice ones to share. So, one beautiful line which I feel which you spoke is about whenever I am asking you who are the women or what can you tell about them. So it's with so much of happiness and a very positivity you say that I have lots of women in my life, and whether it be colleague or family or parents or daughters and everyone. So that speaks volumes about how you think or how you approach them. And as you very rightly said that in any business, when you build relationships, it's you don't see them exclusively as women or men. It's about building a strong relationship with your client, and when you give them respect, I think it comes back automatically.
I agree entirely.
And so any of these like during your entire timeline till now, have you faced any, I can say, untoward or very unpleasant incidents where you didn't feel good about something which was related to females or anything or you had to anyone you had to empathize with, or they were broken or something like that, and you had to take a stand or something? I mean, not necessarily, but anything related to that, if you can recollect.
I think some by virtue of having female clients who I'm very passionate about helping and working with and delivering for. Sometimes I guess women can be more emotional, more that. So I guess it makes me question whether it's my approach that's making them more, have to explain or feel certain ways, right? So I do try and just and be sensitive, and I think wise is probably the word I'm looking for, right? Where I don't say things that are extreme, things that will trigger people. But I am often brutally honest, but I will normally start off with just being my normal happy self, right? If it comes to, I will have to be honest with my clients. I like to be honest because that's the only way I'm going to get what we want, if that makes sense, right? If I'm not honest, then in marketing, you end up going around in circles, and then you end up wondering why that's not working. So I will sit people down and say, right, here is the problem. Let's deal with it. And so most of the time, say man or woman, they do. People do listen. But again, that's part of my approach to life. Where I think as business people, as service providers, we have to be we have to we have to find that point of difference. So I love that point of what sets you apart from the other person. I think if we just live life trying to be just another one who does this or that, we end up going nowhere. People don't know why they should choose us.
Yes.
They said they can choose anyone. Whether they choose me or you or someone else doesn't really matter, does it?
Yes,
Whereas I think I love people to create that uniqueness. Now, I always say it in terms of don't just do things your way. That's what people are buying, really. They're buying your way. So I do eventually have to tell people that's where the secret is. So sometimes, when I say it, people get it. Other times, I have to sit them down and truly explain. The world doesn't benefit from you having lack of confidence.
Correct.
The world doesn't benefit from you being shy. You thinking, okay, maybe I'm a woman. No one really cares. No one ever given me a chance to be my true self. So I will push that narrative, that principle to truly dare to be yourself, dare to dream, dare to we can all achieve great things, right? But I think the world tries to tell us, no, just keep quiet and just do it. Do the same old thing. That's not me. I will try and push the boundaries. Thankfully, it's working. Thankfully, I do. I'm lucky to truly get to meet and work with people who are truly amazing. That's a gift.
Yes, and that's the way you see it is also another, is a big thing. So I'm going to ask you, what are the 3 things you feel that women have which is special and, men can also learn from it?
Oh, okay.
The qualities?
Just 3 things? Damn,
Just
just
3?
3 things.
Or if it is too much, you can make it 1, and if it is too much,
No.
and if it is
I'm sure there's more than 3 things, right?
no, okay, you can list as many, but I just asked 3.
I suppose again, one I've heard on your show as well, which when we look at it, it may make sense. It's this notion that women have a rational and an emotional side. Whereas most men will tend to just act with emotion. I think that's a quality. Do I believe all women act, in a balanced way? Of course not. There are some crazy women as much as there's some crazy men, right? Let's be honest.
Exceptions are always there.
Yeah, but on the main, again, so many of the women I work with and that I have in my life, they're more than reasonable. They're more than fair. So they want to hear, the reason for someone doing what they do. And they want to give people a fair chance, and they want to be almost choosy, selective about what they decide, is the right way to go forward. That's a woman quality, I think, of course, the issue of caring. I think it's another good thing in women, actually caring about how people feel and how people experience a situation. That's another one. Maybe that's what I'd say. Is in terms of being open, honest and open about their emotions, their reality, and their experiences. Many men we can get through many situations without ever being open about how we truly feel. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. But I find in my work, especially in my marketing work, in my audio rooms, when something is going wrong, when someone suddenly is feeling not so good, the women are the ones who will rise and say, look, then I understand, let's talk, so let's talk, let me see if I can help you, much more than the men will do normally, right? And the women are the ones who will come forward with, here's the issues I've experienced, and much more than men will. So they're much more open in that sense. Is that 3?
Oh, yes. See, whatever you're going to talk nice about women, I'm going to feel like, oh yes, it's correct.
No, so when you and I talked, a while ago, I remember saying to you that it's going to be very hard for you to find the man that will come on your show and be a total idiot. The one's going to come here and not be sensitive and understand and complimentary about women, because that would be weird, right? But they do exist.
No, I know. I totally understand. But then the entire, idea is that it's not about only talking good things about that topic. It's also about bringing up issues. And as you very rightly said, yes, those people would come on my show or not, I don't know, because it's just a start. But I would welcome everyone, all sorts of thoughts. And it's a platform where I want to voice these opinions. So, yes, in a way, I definitely agree with you that it's tough to
Yeah.
be that way. And but again, everyone has their own experiences and everyone has their own backgrounds and things they would want to share.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm again waiting for. Okay, so for you, I would like to definitely ask one question: is that how do you feel that men in the society, do they should have a particular set of behavior, or what are the points which men can adapt to make a safer place for women? Because usually it is pointed out that because that man was stalking me, that man was looking at me, he was not looking properly, all these issues what women face, or the inappropriate behavior. So what can be done from a man's point of view to curtail it?
A very good question. I think it's a lot of men's weird behaviors, which I think unreasonable behaviors. It goes back to what we learn as boys growing up.
Yes.
So we can see things for what they are. As I say, our family situation as boys is very different to how the world wants us to behave or the world expects us to behave. So I think we almost have to turn that potential, that belief that our mothers are giving us, good or bad, into a positive. So I think that we can be a lot more understanding. We can be, I guess, more supportive. You see, I tell you what, all of this comes down to really, Sonali, right? Men need to find their place in life. I remember maybe not long ago. I would live my life and try and separate work from my family life. Even though I work from home, we're still trying to keep that family is downstairs over there. My work is more important. So now eventually, I think the men who grow up and realize that your work is your family and to live a happier life. That's the first place I'll start to answer that question, right? The whole point of us doing what we do is for our family. So it's crazy that we then don't think of the family when we're making work decisions. It's ridiculous. I see many men, even those they're rich and successful, where they achieve a lot, but deep down they're so unhappy because they haven't managed to integrate their personal life and their work life together. They kept them separate and don't quite realize that the whole point that those two, they must work together. What's success if my wife is not happy? Nothing. Pointless. What's success if my family is not happy? What a waste of time. What a waste of energy.
Absolutely.
So that's where I will start on that one, right? I think from there, I think life, for a man, it comes down to finding a purpose. If we have to find our purpose, those who find a purpose are happier. The alternative is to live life and almost feel like life owes you something, the world owes you something, and with that, you end up blaming people for things that don't quite work out, right? I think that we must work on finding the thing that that we love doing and the thing that we're gifted to do. Again, as a man or woman, I think we all have a unique gift. Our mission in life, our responsibility, our task is to find that thing. I think when we find that thing, we're just infinitely happier. And once we find that purpose, so for me, it's writing books. For me, it's doing audiobooks, right? Once you realize that's your thing. You live in a world of infinite joy where you don't need to blame people for anything. Literally you just you live your joy. You serve people with your joy. Invariably, once you do that, the money will come anyway, right? And you find a way to be happy. So, again, if you don't find that sense of joy, sense of purpose, you end up living a strange life where you feel almost worthless, almost not that important, and then you start blaming other people for why you don't feel important. And often the women in our lives are the ones who get to bear the brunt of our sense of inferiority, insecurity. and unhappiness. That's pretty
Yes.
much that's why I tend to live my life. That's why I tell my sons as well.
You know what? You have spoken so beautiful points, very, very powerful points, I would say. Like when you talk about the boys thinking, how they grow up and what mentality they carry. And when you talk about the men who just work without respecting the family time or involving them, I think this has a very deeper meaning to it. And this is itself is a subject of discussion because this from here I think a lot of things can be seen of how they support the women in their life, be it mother, be it wife, be it daughter, be it girlfriend, be it sister, whoever women are there in their lives, how they support when they involve work, their professional work, how they integrate it.
Yeah.
So this is very, very powerful point, I think, which you have put across. And of course, talking about purpose is another wonderful thing. So one of my friend I know, Devesh, who just talks about purpose in life. It's his agenda and goal. He speaks about that, which reminds me of that again. But thank you so much. I mean, sharing these points were amazing. So before closing, I just want to ask you that any last line or you want to add or you want to say.
I don't tend to think too much about when I get the chance to be a guest on someone's show, right? I will just, and again, it's the same for my audio rooms. It's very rare that I will have long notes. I'm one to turn up and just be honest and just be myself and try and be honest, try and share something useful and maybe even have fun. I didn't know what I was going to say today. I'm always amazed. I'm like, okay, I really do think that. Well, what can I add at the end that I haven't said so far? Okay, maybe now the one thing that sort of the one point of difference between men and women that freaks me, that confuses me, is social media use. I don't understand. I said my daughters and say sister-in-law and they seem to be obsessed by scrolling on social media. I don't understand it. I don't get
Oh,
it.
this is a global issue.
Yes, that's why I mentioned it. I'm saying
This
as
is
a
a global
man, I
issue.
don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know what you're doing, looking at your
I
phone all
know.
day and just scrolling. Mindless. I'm a marketer. I do social media, right? I don't scroll. I don't scroll at any platform.
Okay.
I don't look at the feeds. I post, but I don't want to know what's there, right? But women will spend hours and days just mindlessly scrolling. Now, what are they looking for? What I don't understand. Like, can you explain it, or should I just leave it?
No, we are going to leave it at that because this is going to take another episode to explain. And also, I can't spill the beans here of by
Okay,
telling you that
excellent,
what to be women.
excellent. Yeah.
But I can say that it's a global issue and a global secret. So thankful we had this lively conversation. And any, like, in spite of you having cold, I think you caught cold
Hmm.
just before the show. So it's not such a cold show.
No,
It's a nice.
I mean, maybe it's anxiety or excitement about being your guest. That's probably what brought
Oh,
it on.
okay.
You know.
No, absolutely, lovely talking to you, interacting with you. Pleasure having you on my show. And in spite of you being little, unwell and having that cold, you still didn't log out and you didn't opt out for it.
Of course not.
Also, I'm very happy to tell the viewers that Annie is my first international speaker on the show, and that status is going to remain forever now.
Excellent, excellent.
But
Thank
I'm
you
so
so much.
happy.
No,
Yes, I'm so happy that you could make it and for sharing all the valuable nuggets you carried, and you spoke so well about everything. I hope like a lot of people have good takeaways from this. Thank you so much, and we'll interact more about a lot of things
yeah,
coming
no.
forward.
I say thank you for
So
the opportunity. Thank you. I love,
yeah,
I always appreciate the chance to be seen and heard. I think that's probably why I love doing and making other people seen and heard as well. But I thank you genuinely.
thank you. It's pleasure, absolute pleasure, and thank you, viewers. So do watch and subscribe.
Yeah, I mean,
Fine then.
and maybe connect with me on LinkedIn. Find Eny
Yeah,
Osung on LinkedIn. So I'd love for
absolutely.
connect with me.
Yeah,
If I can help you in any way, or you want to try, you have a question about me, about marketing. about business,
Yes.
then for sure I'll just connect with him and let's talk.
On this part, I can vouch that he's a great person to talk, and he's, he's always open to questions and suggestions. So that's something really wonderful about him. Thank you, Annie, and definitely.
Thank you.
See,
Thank you so much.
I mean, looking forward to meet you again. See you again. Talk to you.
Yeah, you're the star. I always say that, right?
Yes, a lot of stars. but thanks. Yeah. Take care and bye bye.
Excellent.